Hi, my name is Mitch Ziegler. I'm a physical therapist and a professor at Spring Arbor University. And today I'm going to be going over upper body quadrant or triplane punches. We're going to be doing shoulder height and overhead. And the reason for doing triplane or three planes of motion dumbbell exercises is because our body moves in all three planes of motion. So the typical exercises moving in just the traditional planes aren't that incredibly functional. So we're going to kind of have a different twist at this where we're going to work them in different angles, things like that. So we're going to work sagittal, we're going to work frontal, and things like that. So the idea of using the punches is most of the time we're reaching out for things and we're pulling things back. So we're going to work on the reaching out piece of getting your shoulder stronger. So we're going to use dumbbells to do this. You don't have to use dumbbells if you're coming off a surgery or you just can't handle the weight of dumbbells. You can just use your empty hand, which is fine. So here we go. So the first punch is just going to be a straightforward punch. This is working the sagittal plane. And I'm doing it with a twisting motion. You could actually just punch like this, or you could actually punch like this. So if you're getting shoulder pain with this motion, you can change the angle of the dumbbell to make it more comfortable. But the midline of the body's here, so we're keeping the dumbbells on either side of the midline, okay? So we're gonna do 10 to each side. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna punch to the side. So we'll punch out to the side, and we'll punch out to the side. This is gonna work our shoulders in the frontal plane of motion. So we're gonna do 10 punches to each side. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna cross our midline. So the midline of the body's here, cross it, and we're gonna do punches across the body. So this works in the transverse plane of motion. And we'll do 10 punches on each side, okay? So that's all at shoulder height. And normally we work mostly in shoulder height, or we'll work overhead, and that's what we're moving to next. So we're gonna take the dumbbells, and we're gonna place the dumbbells with our palms facing our face, and we're gonna punch straight up with the palms continuing to point towards our face. So we're gonna punch up towards the ceiling, just like this. We'll do 10 times on each side. Now we're gonna take the dumbbells, swivel them around so the palms are facing away from us, and we're gonna punch up like this, and we're gonna do 10 on each side. So this works in more of the frontal plane of motion of the shoulder. This works more in the sagittal plane, okay? So again, remembering the midline of the body, now we're gonna take the dumbbells and we're gonna punch across the midline. So we're doing more of a transverse plane motion. So we're punching across and across. We're gonna do 10 times on each side. Then we're going to do another transverse plane motion where we actually punch behind. We're going to punch behind, and we're going to punch behind, reaching up towards the ceiling, making it an overhead punch. And this also works in the transverse plane of motion. There's also one I'd like to add that I didn't put on before, working at shoulder height, is doing the crossover punch like this, is what I showed. We're also going to add that same crossover punch, and we're going to add it at shoulder height, okay? So we'll do 10 times to each side there, okay? So at shoulder height and overhead, we've got 4 different type of punches. Actually 3 planes of motion, 4 different exercises. So for overhead, we're gonna have our palms facing towards us. That's the sagittal, palms out, that's the frontal. Crossovers, which is the transverse. Crossovers behind, which is transverse, okay? At shoulder height, punches straight out in front. That's the sagittal, punches up to the side. That's the frontal. Crossover punches, that's the transverse. And then we're gonna punch behind us, and that's going to be also the transverse. So 4 different exercises, using the dumbbells to strengthen the shoulders in all different planes of motion and have functional movements. These are functional exercises. So I hope you find this video helpful, and thank you for watching my video.